Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly, how about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford and joining me is Daniel and Alan. Well lads, where do we start? Don't know, where do we start? Is it the manager? Is it the players? Is it the board? So let's just call a spade a spade. It's been an absolute shit show of a week. Everything that I'll be saying tonight myself, and I'm guessing yourselves, will be the truth and what we feel. I don't think we can hold back anymore. As I say, my name is Ryan Clifford. It is the podcast after the disastrous defeat to St Mirren. Aaron, hope you're well. I know you're not well, but hope you're well, mate. And aye, how were you after the game?
Aye, good evening everyone. I hope you're all well. How was that after the game? I'm going to say more acceptance rather than angry now, because I thought after watching the two games that I would have hoped and thought that we could have overcame kind of St Mirren and won a domestic trophy, but I wasn't massively shocked that we played in that manner, because for me this guy just looks completely out of his depth, completely and entirely out of his depth. And I know we've established that the board members and the hierarchy are only fit for purpose. We've seen that over the last number of transfer windows. We've established that, we know that. But what we found out in this last week, that we want a time machine to go back a week and deny his visa coming into this country, because this guy is not fit for purpose either. I'm all one for kind of trying to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, trying to give them a chance to come in the door. And I think it might be a wee bit quick to judge somebody in 3 games. If you're seeing something that's bringing positives, I remember people kind of quote the Ange that he came in and he's kind of lost, I don't know, it was 3 out of the first 6 games, I think. But the fact of the matter is with Ange, you could see a clear message of what he was trying to get across to the players. You can see a clear method of football that we were trying to play. With this, honestly, I've no idea what style of football that this guy's trying to play. If somebody in the comments or you guys know, please enlighten me, because all I can see is kind of Liam Scales walking about as if he's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube, because he looks kind of clued away from anything. But honestly, you've got them passing about in the back, and then when they've no ideas, you've got Austin Trusty that's waiting 10 seconds minimum, looking for an option. No option appears, so he passes it back to Liam Scales, and then he just punts it up the park. I don't see any options. This guy's come into the football club knowing the quality of player that he's got, knowing that he's coming into a team that weren't playing exceptionally well, but the matter of fact was they were getting results. He's overhauled it for no reason. I think he's come in, he's looking very, very silly for doing that, because he's looking as if it's all about him show. He should be coming in and adding to that gradually. For me, I don't see any way back for this manager. I think you see the high majority of the fans have already turned. I think there's a long, long way back for anything kind of positive to come for that. Even if he wins a number of games, I think that you would still, the next time we drop points, it'll just be back to square one. So for me, sadly, it's aye, cheers Nancy, but there's your ticket to Disneyland. Off you pop, son.
I think a lot of fans feel the same, Alan. It's been a horrible week. We'll get some comments after Daniel comes back in here. For me, Daniel, I'm with Alan. Do you know what? I'll let you come in, mate, then and we'll kind of go for there. But Skinner, mate, what was your thoughts after the game as well, mate?
Oh, to be fair, I think after it went 3-1, I'm kind of the same as Alan. It was more, this could be 4 or 5 instead of anger at the fact that we got beat. Listen, we all said that when he comes in the door, he needs to hit the ground running. He hit the ground, it just wasn't running. It was at full speed, and we've crashed and burned. 3 of the biggest games of the season, and we've failed to win or even register any kind of a, like Alan says, idea or philosophy. He comes out after the game and blames individual errors and says that's what's holding us back. I think if we look back a few months, we've seen that across the other side of the water as well. It doesn't fly. We've seen so many players getting played out of position towards the end of that game. I mean, Luke McEwen, I've actually got it here. Luke McEwen finished the game at left wing back. James Forrest was playing centre mid. And Kobe Donovan was playing right centre back. So for me, you can't really blame the players if you're not playing them where they're meant to be. And it's very frustrating because we've heard a lot about how this guy is good and there's so many positives to the way he plays. For me, I've not seen it. Celtic are getting harder and harder to watch every week. I'll still do it, but it's getting hard to watch, and some of the part already is reminiscent of a Mr. Russell Martin for me, and it's no washing with the fans anymore. I think the first game we kind of put it down to new manager, new system, fair enough. After he says he wasn't going to change it much, by the way, Roma was embarrassing, completely embarrassing. Their striker scores a double and then comes out after the game and says it was lovely that the players tried to defend them, didn't know what they were doing. And then you go and lose a cup final to a St Mirren team that, all credit to them, they executed their plan to absolute perfection. But their third goal was it's a straight ball right up the park, and Declan John, no disrespect to him, he's not the fastest guy in the planet. He made it for his own half to the Celtic penalty box before a Celtic player was even near him. And for me, it's not good enough, and it just sums up the season. We've had quite a easy shot at things for me this season. Obviously, Champions League qualification, that's your easiest draw that you could have got. Messed that up. Then your league form, obviously your closest challenger in recent years is kind of a fair away. There was a new emergence of Hearts. They've done very well. You had the chance to go quite a few clear. Didn't take it. Now we're chasing. You had the probably easiest shot at a trophy in December. No disrespect to St Mirren, they walked away with it. But if you're a cup final this early in the season, you think it's going to be a bit of a challenge. You're expecting a Rangers or something like that. We go to St Mirren. Everybody was thinking we were going to win, failed there again. So it's just pure underperformance, and it sums up the season as a whole for me.
It's like I say, lads, there's a lot to get through. The game, the board, the manager.
No,
listen, I'm not going to go and rant and swear every 2 seconds because I don't want to do that. But I'll tell you, lads, it's hard. That's probably the angriest I've been as a Celtic fan in a long, long time. Probably as I've been a Celtic fan. Again, I'll touch on the manager, Alan, but I want to touch on the players first and foremost because at the end of the day, they're the guys on the park. The majority of them are an absolute fucking disgrace. I'll say that bluntly. Absolute disgrace. No chasing back, no desire, no hunger to chase and help their teammates. Guys can't trap the ball, can't pass the ball, can't defend. Ralston's putting the ball up there. Scales don't know what he's doing. Absolutely shambolic. These are guys getting paid handsome amount of money. Looking nervous. I guess a cup final, but some of these guys are played in Euros, international games, cup finals, trebles, doubles. Looked absolutely away with it. They didn't know what they were doing. That is obviously on the manager as well. We'll touch on that, Alan. But I'm sorry, people have tried to defend him. Liam Scales is not good enough. Again, I could go through here through the full team. Ralston not good enough, etc., etc. Tenetke, £5 million in the drain. Paul Tisdale should be out a job now. Don't know how he's still in a job. Barrett Wisha didn't go in the park. But aye. Barrett Wisha, no getting a game. £5 million in the drain. Yamada, no in the squad. Simpson Pooji's not in the squad. I get Osman's injured, but the recruitment's terrible. How he's still in a job, and it's coming home to roost that. Aye, listen, there's still challenges, Alan, Rangers, etc. But it's come to roost now that for me, it's Manny's decline. The board have managed to decline this club to tap the bottom. Brendan Rodgers left because he knew what was coming. He wasn't getting what he wanted. He's away. John Kennedy's joining him. Can't be that bad. A guy or a manager that Kennedy's away from him is Saudi Arabia. It's just Manny's decline. They're happy to take our money, and then as soon as you ask questions, it's what do you mean? Right, we'll shut the AGM. We'll get the fan meeting all allowed in. We'll no put the socials out. For me, the board are. But again, Alan, firstly and foremost, on the players, mate. I thought they were terrible yesterday. Every single one of them, even your captain, who normally helps you. But again, he looked lost. Like I said, you will touch on the manager, mate, in certain aspects. But for me, Alan, the players aren't getting scot-free, mate. For me, they were absolute disgrace yesterday, and they need to take a lot of criticism because that's guys that have been there and done it, and they just looked like, I don't want to say didn't care because that's disrespectful, but they looked like they were just, it just wasn't a cup final, Alan. It was just like, it was a walk the park. Guys pulling out tackles. Sorry, you're playing with Celtic. You're not playing with an amateur team, a junior team where you've got maybe your job the next day. You're playing in front of thousands of fans. Cup final for grabs to help your season. Sorry, if you don't want to be here, you don't want to get injured, don't play then. Don't play because you're hindering the team, the fans, and there's somebody else who's maybe fit that can come in and play, who's want to play and show their stuff to the fans and manager and get a cup in the bag as well. For me, Alan, the players were absolutely diabolical yesterday, mate.
No, I completely agree. And I think, well, as I say, the difference being between how I'm talking about the manager now is we've established this quality of players drastically declined since the last couple of years. We've seen that we've steadily get rid of kind of some of our best players and replaced them with the likes of kind of Inamura and Yamada for whatever league in Japan that's not working out right. You're looking at Tenetke and Balatwisha, even Benji Negrin. I don't think their attitude matches up to what we need at Celtic Football Club. I don't think they get as well as a manager. I don't think they get what it means to kind of pull on that jersey. I don't think they put in the full amount of effort and fight, rhetorical term, but fight to deserve to wear that jersey. So, the players massively underperformed. I think it's only you're 3 games into Nancy's tenure, and I think he's already lost the dressing room. I think the way that he's shouting over kind of Carl McGregor, and he's looking at him as if he's asking what's he across on the crossword. It's like, honestly, he's looking at him as if he's silly. Kieran Tierney's ready to come off the pitch, and he doesn't know if he's coming off the pitch or no. It's just a complete mess. And when you're bringing in a manager like that, you should be the one that's kind of galvanising the players and saying, you get that new manager bounce as well, and they want to impress that manager. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing anybody trying to impress that manager because he's coming across with these tactics, he's coming across with these formations, and you know yourself, Ryan, that if you're playing a football team and you get a manager or a coach that comes in and you think that he's not up to the level, you're going to be speaking to each other like, this guy's clueless, this guy's doesn't know what he's doing, this guy's nowhere near. You've went for the level of Brendan Rodgers, well-respected coach within football. He's achieved quite a lot at a high level, and you're going down to a guy that's kind of mediocre Columbus Crew. And he's not really done much. I don't know what he's done that's earned the right to come in as Celtic manager. So you're spot on with the players. I think there's reasoning behind that. I know this squad has lost a lot of kind of quality depth, but there's still enough there, as you've seen with Mark Manil, there's still enough there to get the victory over the line. It's still the same players there. There's still enough. So for me, there is one major issue just now, and it's this new manager that's come in. We know about the issues with the board. We know about the issues with the transfer market. We know about the players that are coming in aren't up to the level that we require. But this is all these things were all known before Nancy came in. We knew that in January and the summer it's going to be massive windows. It's going to be Tidsdale. Is it going to be Nancy that we are relying on to bring in kind of quality into this team? Would you trust that? For me, I wouldn't. And as I say, it doesn't really. You don't want your manager to be the most exciting outgoing person, but it doesn't really inspire for me when you're listening to some of his interviews. You'll probably touch upon that, but I've seen an interview as well where he come out and says that we started well. We're 1-0 down after 90 seconds. Like, in what planet is that acceptable to think that's a reasonable thing to say? We started well. He said, look, see the minute he says we started well, I think my head rolled right off. Like, absolutely. And then he's saying as well, he said as well about it's not all about trophies. I think there was brain juice leaking out my ear when he said that. Honestly, I couldn't believe what I'm listening to. And for that reason, and that reason alone, the way he's portrayed himself, the way this team hasn't got a clue what they're doing, this guy's no fit for purpose. It needs to be moved on immediately. I personally, I think he will be there Wednesday at Tannadice. If it was me that had the choice, it'd be, as I say, it'd be back waving to either the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty.
Aye, mate. We've all touched on the manager, obviously, Daniel, about obviously his tactics and the way he's come in, and obviously the board as well. I think they need to be touched on massively as well. But just for yourself, mate, on the players, I don't know if you feel the same as me, Alan, or if you have different opinions, but I understand the tactics and I get all that, but just simple things that the players weren't doing, defending properly. We look so exposed at set pieces. I don't understand it, Daniel. I generally don't understand how every time we get a corner, it's like giving somebody a penalty. That's how bad it is, because you're fearing the worst every time someone had a corner, even Roma during every time at Ibrox, even at the start of the season, even when Rodgers was here. There's just something fundamentally wrong in the squad now and the players. And I know O'Neill got the results, but some of these mistakes, like with Scales and even Trusty, who I've been a fan of this year, he still made the odd mistake here and there. But they've all made mistakes at the back line. It's simple mistakes, Daniel, they're making. I don't know, but where you go for that, I know recruitment, but these are guys that have played football, Daniel, consistently for Celtic at a high level, and they're making simple mistakes, mate. Like, what's your thoughts on it? But for me, Daniel, the players are going to get scot-free on this, because I understand formation systems and what they're asked to do, but fundamentally, mate, if you don't do the basics, mate, there's nothing a manager can do.
No, definitely. And Arne Engels spoke about this, and he said everybody's played this kind of a system at some level of football, so it's not as if it's completely brand new and alien. He said that that's something that it's going to take a wee while to get used to, but they're professional football players, that's their job. So that's one of your players saying that, and then you watch it. Liam Scales spent more time on the left wing than he did at centre half. I'm watching the game baffled as to why our left-sided centre back is making overlapping runs at the top of the wing back, to put a ball in the box. I couldn't believe it, mate. I was absolutely scunnered. There's just no eagerness to win the ball back after it's lost. It's as if that's all right. They'll gaze it back in 5 minutes anyway. I don't know if it's laziness or arrogance. It's something that's just no right. It's tragic to watch because this is a team less than 12 months ago that were flying, absolutely flying. So I don't understand how it can decline so quickly. Players like Benjamin Negrin, he gets goals, he gets assists and stuff like that. See if you watch him in that. See if you watch him against Hearts, especially. I've never seen him play one pass that went to the right man. It's as if they just don't care anymore. Like, obviously, Engels does make a mistake last night that leads to a goal, but for me, he's one of the only ones in the midfield. Like, he'll chase the ball down. The rest of them just kind of a stone and watch. Hatati's man for the obviously it is Hatati's man for the first goal, but look at the height difference in the two. I don't know if you've seen the screenshot.
Yeah.
Liam Scales is standing in no man's land on the edge of 18-yard box, and you've got Rio Hatati marking Marcus Fraser. I mean, what is going on there? Do you know what I mean? You can't look at that and go,
Aye,
that's a good match.
at the same time, mate.
It's ridiculous. Scales puts the ball in his own net against Roma, and then he's just standing there like this, watching the game. You'd think he was a striker the way he was positioned in that penalty box. So, for me, the players have got a lot to answer for because we've seen when they're galvanised and when they're up for it, they can score goals, they can perform. And these last 3 games, we've not even looked like scoring at all. I mean, it's a great finish for Rio Hatati last night and a great finish for Kieran Tierney against Hearts as well. But apart from that, we've not even looked like having a shot on target. It's as if we build up and build up and build up and go, that's all right, let's pass it back and start again. And we've not even touched on Kasper Schmeichel yet. And net.
Touching him, mate.
Do you know what I mean? So it's so many things have just went absolute tits up, and it's horrific to watch. And like it or lump it, for Wilfred Nancy, if he loses on Wednesday night, he is 100% out the door. Fans already want it now. I'm on the fence myself, trying to find some positives in this team, and I just don't see them at the minute. So it's hard, but yeah, a lot of onus does need to go on the players. So aye.
In terms of the first goal, Alan, like Daniel's kind of basically said that what I would say as well about our game, myself being at the game. I actually thought Kasper should have saved it where I was sitting. I've looked back and I can maybe say, right, it wasn't his fault. Right, I understand it was right in the corner, but I think he's still got to move his feet a bit quicker. Hatati shouldn't be marking him. He should be doing better. Let's not get about the bush here. He should be doing better. But Daniel's right. For me, Daniel, that's shown that the manager or whoever it is that does the set pieces, apparently it's Gavin Stratton, if he's still doing that. I know Rogers says and Ange said that he done the set pieces. If he's doing the set pieces, if it's defending or both of them, but surely before you go in the park training or even before you go in, you know who you're marking corners. Either if you're this blocker now, is it zonal? Is it man marking? If you're man marking, who you marking? But it's just simple. No, I'm not the tallest. I never went back defended because I'm not going to jump and defend the ball against a guy who's 6'2". So I stayed up front. The rest of the guys marked. That's surely why is Hatati marking somebody who's 3 or 4, even 5, 6 feet inches bigger than him? It doesn't make sense. So for me, Alan, that's shown as well that there's no tactical aspect to defending the set pieces because it's happening all the time. Roma, Hearts, it's simple by the way, Aaron, this isn't something that's, as Daniel says, like alien. It's not hard. This is simple stuff that amateur players do, mate. It's people need to wake up here and like just listen. We can all slot the board of manager, but just on the players here, Aaron. As much as the managers go to do better in terms of the tactical side, defending wise, Aaron, see if Liam Scales goes, he should go right. He's not going to get him, or somebody else in the team who's taller, even Engels. He's tiny. He's not. Why is he marking him? That's basic knowledge, Aaron, isn't it? Surely.
Aye, no, primarily these guys should be taking ownership on the park as well, no matter who the manager is. They should be playing better than that, but it just screams a kind of lack of organisation, like lack of structure. There's just we just look like a complete and utter mess just now, and that I don't know why in God's name that Real Hitachi's Martin someday when Liam Scales is standing there kind of redundant. I have no idea why that's the case. Is that an instruction? Is that lack of organisation? Is that kind of Liam Scales that's not done his job properly? I don't know, but there's something drastically lacking within the players. There's something drastically lacking within kind of the structure as well, because it can't just be that we won 7 out of 8 games and then the last 3 games have just capitulated like that as well. I know that you've got to blame the players because they have got to take a wee bit more ownership in regards to, even if the manager is he's clueless and doesn't know the difference between kind of playing darts and football, I don't know, but even if that is the case, these players, maybe like Cal McGregor or whoever, even Casper as well, these players should be kind of galvanising the other players within the first 11 and saying, right, you just need to do that, this and that. These players need to take a wee bit of ownership and start performing that bit better, because the performances we've seen the last 3 games, they're maybe near to the standard or level that we need, and that's, we've said it for a long time, the quality we've got within the squad isn't good enough, and I've said it constantly for the last year. I said it early in the summer transfer window, and I got a bit of abuse in the chat here, the live chat. They saying, "Oh, there's plenty of time left in the transfer window. Celtic will do their business and all that." Aye, done their business, done no business. So that's just been the case. You know, the quality's been going down consistently. And now these players look as if they're kind of refusing to play for this manager. I don't believe that to be professional either. I think no matter who the manager is, you should still, these guys are getting a weekly wage, they're getting a handsome wage, and they should be performing to the best of their ability, no matter who the manager is. But it just seems like the whole club just now, it's a collective mess. There's just nothing about the club, where it's for board level, for director of football that came to Exeter City, that's suddenly he's your top man now for some reason. Down to the manager, the coaching staff as well. They don't look at they're sitting there kind of what the coaches have to tune the fat into as well. They're not really looking as if they're contributing. So apart from having a successful game of Connect 4, I don't know what else they've actually achieved. So, and then that fault is a domino effect as well. So you go for the board, you go to the director of football. If that's no the best connection, then it's got to follow on to the manager that the director of football's brought in, and then the manager's effect on the players. So overall, it's a domino effect. It's a vicious circle. It's got to continue to happen if we don't get things in place properly. And for now, for me, I know the players have massively underperformed, but you know they can perform to a better level than that. We've seen it, winning 7 out of 8 games. It wasn't pretty, but they still get the wins under a coach that can galvanise them. This coach just now, this should be your number one priority, should be that this guy needs to leave. And then we deal with kind of Tidsdale, then you deal with the board, then you deal with the players, etc. But for now, there seems to be a common denominator over the last 3 games. We won 7 out of 8, and then these last 3 games, it's just capitulated. We've just kind of fell right off a cliff, and I can't see any kind of immediate improvement.
Well, as you mentioned there, we've lost the last 3. I think it's the first time in 5.5 years, Daniel, we've lost 3 games in a row, which even by standards, it's no good. That shows right away that there's red flags. Again, on the manager, well, saying that, you obviously the goals as well, Daniel, we'll touch on before we look at the manager and the rest about the board. The second goal for me, that was at my side of the ground. I don't know what Kasper Schmeichel's doing. If he stands in his line, he's catching that probably, or he's tapping it at the bar. I don't know why he's flying out. And even when he's flying out, he's not even flying out to get the ball. He's just flattening. He's doing it all the time now. He'd done it at Ibrox. We were very, very lucky that it was offside. He's done it plenty of other times. He's kicking the ball out to nobody, getting the ball away. If one thing about Nancy, see if he's got a bit of buzz about him, he's dropping him on Wednesday, he's playing Sinisalo. If he's got any bit of buzz about him, he's dropping him. Celtic, it doesn't matter if you're Cal McGregor, Kasper Schmeichel, whoever you are, if you're not performing to any sort of level and make mistakes every week, you're on the bench. He's ever since the cup final, for me, Daniel, he's not been up to scratch. Yes, listen, he still made the odd good save here and there in certain games. Even yesterday, he did make the odd good save, but he's making mistakes, Daniel, every single week, coming for close even he shouldn't he? And for me, listen, he's been a brilliant servant for us, Daniel. Brilliant servant. But if Sinisalo's not going to be the man, we need another goalkeeper in January because he's going to cost us more. He's not going to stop this now. It's just part and parcel. He is getting older now. I get he's going to make mistakes. I get it. But the second goal, Daniel, for me, the defender's got to be better first and foremost, but the goalkeeper kills you.
Yeah, definitely. We said at the start of the season that Kasper would be one we kind of us as fans would kind of keep an eye on to see. Obviously, we know he is aging, and we've seen a wee bit of rotation, and we were quite impressed with Sinisalo last season. Cup final rolls around, the question marks were massive after that. And then we spoke about it on here, saying that if it was to be Sinisalo's season, we think it would be this season that we would see him kind of a mere drip fed into the squad. And it's just not really happened. I mean, Schmeichel's shown that he's not the keeper he once was anymore. He done us very, very well last season. They had great points, but this season, man, it's like 2 different goalies. I mean, they're running out, like you says, they're running out. He doesn't even dive, man. The second goal, he's on the flare before the boy even kicks the ball. That's what I said. That's what I said to the people I was watching the game with. He's on the deck before the ball's even kicked. And if you're a goalie, that's embarrassing. I mean, if getting chipped for Kenny McLean for his own half isn't embarrassing enough, to go and do it again at Hampden, I mean, I just don't understand how much longer he's going to be given, because he's cost us in Europe. He's now costing us domestically. It can't go on. It's hard to see any sort of a positive direction out of this right now. It's not what we want to be doing. We don't want to be sitting on here complaining and, well, I don't really call it complaining, I call it realism, but we don't want to be sitting doing this and be that kind of a negative voice all the time, but it's all we're left with right now. So it's hard to watch, and it's coming down to the leaders on the park now for me, and they're just not there. I mean, Cal McGregor didn't have his greatest game on Sunday, but he can't be the only voice in that team. Cameron Carter-Vickers is meant to be such a big voice. Obviously, he's out injured now. Alistair Johnson as well, he's out injured. Liam Scales was meant to be one of these leaders that we talk about on the park this season. And just to touch on what you said earlier about kind of the corner situation, you've got to take that responsibility, and that team are going, no, that's not happening. Instead of, all right, okay, I'll just stand here and watch you. It's not good enough. Ralston's been in this Celtic squad for how long now? And
Daniel, he's possibly in the chance of a testimonial, mate, at Celtic.
we won't see it because I don't know how he still gets. I don't know how he. I don't know how he still gets a game, mate. I mean, obviously we're looking a bit thin now with Johnson being injured, but I'm not being funny. We all sat and said, "Has Kobe Donovan done enough?" We don't know. I'd say no, aye, because all the good that Ralston had in the bank to say, I don't know, experience. He booted it out of Hampden Park the same way he did with that ball.
He's bankrupt. In terms of credit in the bank, there's no, he's not looking away to that.
That's the question that we had there for the commenter there in the summer. Nobody's going to want to come and improve this team. They look at it and go, no chance. Especially with the carry on of this season. It's really, 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 really difficult to see a positive way out of this right now. And I really hope that I'm wrong. But I can guarantee it's going to get worse before it gets better anytime soon. I really, really do hope that I'm wrong. And I really hope that Wilfred Nancy is able to turn that around. We might get a good few players in January and have a good 10 to the season. But I don't see it. I do not see it happening. And the board are sitting up, and every time now they're panning the camera to the Paul Tilsdale's sleeping. Peter Lawwell's done up like a fish supper with a spray tan and a fresh set of his Empic face. What is going on, man? The transfer budgets went on his spray tans. Ross Desmond sitting in the Hearts game like a wee boy with his wee shirt and tie on. We're a joke. We are a joke at this point in time.
It's no good, mate. No, you're right. We will touch on the board because for me, the boards, for me, the fundamental, Daniel, is the board. It's for me, it's managed decline. Again, this is just our opinions. We might be right, might be wrong, whatever. It's opinions. People, there'll still be fans out there that are happy. Listen, if you're happy with the board, that's fine. But eventually, this is going to come down to when we start losing more games, fans stop turning up. It's going to go down, as Daniel says, a bad way. For me, Aaron, obviously, the manager situation in terms of his tactics and his formation. And I was on before with JP. I said, if we play 3 at the back against Roma, we'll get a doing. We did. He can't. We all say that he can't come in and change right away. The majority of the fan base say that he's got to drip feed it. These 3 games, you can't just come in and change. They're massive games in your season. Potentially still be able to qualify for Europa League. To go ahead of Hearts, if you win, obviously, that and your game in hand, etc., you go ahead in the cup final. Massive 3 games, and he's come in. He's talking about belief in his pressers and stuff. Wait, just hold on a minute, right? We've just won 7 out of 8 games. So there's some sort of belief there because you've won games, albeit it's still a bit frustrating that they were only playing brilliant football and some of them make mistakes, but they were winning games. Domestically, we were still winning games. Still doing well. McGregor last minute goal, but we're still winning. As much as it's frustrating for us to watch, last minute goal, but you take it because you're still getting results on them. So how within 12 days is the belief just went kapoosh? I know it's not been fully there since the start of the season, obviously losing the Almaty, etc. But there's some sort of belief there. The players were reacting to Martin O'Neill. There was a wee bit of harmony with him and the coaches. The fans, as much as we've been moaning about the board, we were still doing it, but because we're winning games and Martin's doing well in his pressers, the players are reacting to him, it was still there, but it wasn't as much as it's been because we're winning games, get results. Martin's interacting with the fans, there's a connection there. The players are connecting with the coaching staff and the manager. There's just, for me, for what I'm seeing for a fan, either on telly or watching the game, out of the game, there's no connection on the park with the coaches and the manager and the players. he's called McGregor there 3 or 4 times. For me, I think it's too much information. Cal McGregor knows how to play that role. Engels is they know how to play that role. I think he's giving him too much information at one time. Try to do too much in terms of systems, formations. I just think he's tried to implement his style. I'm the gaffer, I'll do this. And I don't think he's read the situation. He's saying that he's watched the games. I don't think he has. I think he's not able to adapt, which if he can't adapt to the players that are here until he gets the players that he wants, then for me, he's maybe not a manager that maybe the board think he is, or what he thinks he is at Celtic. And some of his pressers are on about running through. Listen, I get what he's saying, but it's come out the wrong way. You can't come out and say stuff like that because the media will hound you, the fans will hound you, and right away there's a basically a dart on your back for the media and the fans, and everything you say is going to be scrutinised. Similar to Russell Martin and Philip Clement. For me, somebody's got to tell him, listen, if it's leaning on the senior players, if it's McGregor, if it's Casper, if it's even Ralston, guys who have been here, as much as he's not a great player, they've been here, they know what it means to be here. Leaning on Sean Maloney, guys who have been at the football club, lean on them and say, look, right, maybe I've made mistakes here, right? Maybe we'll go to the 4-3-3. Maybe I'll play my wingers and I'll play maybe Dyson up front now. Knows a 10. He's playing Dyson as a 10, Aaron, right? He's then having to he's playing a 4. You play a 4 in a midfield to combat and go and attack. But if you're playing Dyson as a 10, and then St Mirren just slot back in and to a 5 at the back, and you're snookered. We're no managers, Aaron, but it's blatantly obvious it's not going to work.
Aye, well, right away, you're right, the first thing you say is there was a certain level of confidence. The players we know were maybe underperforming to the levels that we've seen recently in recent years, but they were getting results under Martin O'Neill, so you seen the level of confidence. They were smiling a lot more than we've seen just now, and I think as soon as this manager's come in, he's clueless. I think he's just eradicated all that confidence. Yeah, I think some of the things he's saying. So if you've mentioned a lot of the players when Cal McGregor coming on, you wouldn't see kind of Brendan Rodgers or Ange or even in that aspect Neil Lennon. But you see some of these as more kind of charismatic. They get the attention of the squad, they get the attention of the fans, they get the attention of the team. That's how they're managers. Because to be a leader, to be a manager, you need to have that charisma. You need to have that bit of oomph, that bit of respect that people are going to listen to you, that they're going to buy into your philosophy, how you're trying to play. I'm not seeing that just now. I'm seeing the complete opposite for that. I'm just honestly, I'm some of the interviews that this guy's done, he would be as well speaking in French, because some of the waffle that he's coming out with it doesn't make any sense to me anyway. So you'd be as well just saying it in French, because there's some of the things he's saying, it's just like it's a bore fest. It's like, what are you actually talking about, pal? It does remind you kind of Russell Martin. It does remind you of the likes of kind of Pedro Castillo.
It doesn't. Sorry, cut you in, but I'll let you back in just on this. You've kind of hang my mind there. I'm not saying that even when I played at anybody, I never played for a manager, right? I played for myself, my teammates. If I was 10 fans at a ground, whatever it was, right? That's who you played for, right? But it doesn't seem the sort of guy that's like Rodgers probably done really good team talks. Neil Lennon, we've seen some Angie's team talks at the cup final, amazing, about your family and amazing, right? It doesn't seem the sort of, listen, I'm not saying you need motivate for a cup final, but every player needs a wee G up here and there, right? It doesn't seem Alan the sort of guy that yes, let's go, yes. It doesn't seem the sort of guy that players are going to run through back was for. That's just me. Listen, as we've said to you, this could totally change. We could go and win 3 or 4 on Wednesday. We could go and run a 9. We could, right? But right now, before that happens, I'm not getting it, Alan.
I'd love to see Celtic go on a run, and like with every Celtic manager, you want them to succeed, because a successful Celtic manager means a successful Celtic club, and that's all the fans want. But for me, I know he says it can happen, that it can go on a run of performances and results, but he can do that, but also Santa could appear doing my chimney as well. It's not going to happen. It's like I think it's gone. I honestly think he could win the next 5 or 6 games, and see the following game after that where he draws draws at home to Falkirk or something. Then we go back 6 games, and you get to the point where you're at just now and go, no, he goes, because you start seeing that performance. So I think these 3 games have been monumental in the Celtic fans' kind of opinion of this guy. And once you've got an opinion of a manager like that, once you see the amount of red flags, that he's been coming across with, I think that's irreparable. I don't think there's any return for that. He would really need to go unbeaten for the rest of the season, I think. Because I think that it's always going to be in the back of Celtic fans' mind what's happened these last 3 games. The confidence that we've got in this manager is basically obliterated. There's no confidence whatsoever. There's a lot of kind of Celtic fans that are going into this game on Wednesday night, but we're not expecting to win, whereas a lot of this season we've been massively underperforming, but we've still went into most games thinking we're going to get a result here, we're going to get 3 points here, we're going to progress to the next round of the cup, etc. A lot of Celtic fans aren't feeling that way just now, and I think it's because of the way that maybe Nancy's portraying himself and the way that the team's maybe responding to him, because I don't see, as you said, it doesn't come across as somebody that you would run through brick walls for. It doesn't come across as like a manager that the team would respect. And that's harsh to say, but the more I kind of look at these players, the performances, they look as if they've not got a clue what they're supposed to be doing. Look, they're getting instructions, and the instructions aren't making any sense whatsoever to these players. So for me, I don't see this ending well for Nancy. The players have got to take individual blame as well. There's no getting away from that. You're looking at they need to take on that responsibility. If the manager is underperforming, isn't he getting the right messages? Isn't he getting the team well structured, well drilled, well organised? Then there is kind of players that have been there long enough to know, right, we need to make sure we do a wee bit of this ourselves. But it's just a complete mess. We can all see it in front of our eyes now that how bad these transfer windows have been. We can all see it in front of our eyes now that it doesn't look as if Wilfred Nancy is the right manager. I think with that resume or CV that he had, for me, it screamed out that it was kind of he wasn't the right man for the job. That's probably the nicest way to say it. I think he's kind of he's not reached a level that you're dealing with a club as kind of monumental size of Celtic. So for me, players are to blame as well, but I think there's a common denominator here in the last 3 games, and that's going to be the manager. And there's nothing screaming out to me any positives about the manager just now.
Obviously Daniel's Alan says there in terms of these tactics and information, etc. Like he's putting. Listen, I know the squad's better fun in terms of quality and etc. But at least give yourself the best chance possible and play guys in the right positions. Tanecki, as much as he wasn't, I thought Tanecki was horrendous yesterday. I'm going to call it now. I think he's going to be a flop. I don't see what he brings to us. I just don't see it right, and that's me being kind. I'm not going to sit and lambast because he's at a better level than I go to, but I just can't watch it. I don't know what he brings. He's playing guys out of position. First and foremost, he's playing Tanecki position. He's not a wing back. And there's Yang. Yang done all right. Now I'm saying all right because of the standard that we are now. O'Neill got him a wee bit of confidence, and then he puts him to right wing back. Doesn't make sense. He's gained trust of the ball as a ball playing centre back. St Mirren are just like, no, but this is no disrespect to Trusty because I think he's all right. But that's not what he does. And St Mirren are just going, right, just leave it to him. He'll pass it there, they'll play it the back, and then it's mental, Daniel. And then he's put McKibben on the left-hand side. Why not put Maeda up front and play McKibben's at 10? Or if Ian Atchell's injured, put Maeda up front and maybe put McKibben's at 10, or put Engels as a 10, or McGregor and put Bernardo on. Like, he's playing players. Like, why is Liam Scales overtaking Kieran Tierney? Liam Scales is out playing left mid. Now, don't get me wrong, Daniel. He put 2 or 3 good balls in, but he shouldn't be there. He's not helped himself, Daniel. See if he just went, look, right, I'll play the full 3-3. I'll play the guys that are playing well, playing confidence. He might like Bernardo. He might like Yamada, right? Or maybe give him a shot in their positions. But he's totally ripped apart what O'Neill's come in and tried to stabilise. And ultimately, Daniel, if he doesn't win on Wednesday, I'm like you, mate. I don't know how he can survive it. And I'll touch on the board the last 5 of the pod, but where do you go for that, Daniel?
It's baffling, mate. It's almost like a game of FIFA where you've had a man sent off and you're scrambling to put anybody anywhere, and you go by, he's left footed, we'll play him left wing. Or he's got a higher rating than him, I'll put him in the midfield. It's mind-boggling, mate. I've never in my entire life seen a back three where the centre half overlaps the fullback. It leaves you with a back two, which is where St Mirren's third goal comes from, I might add. So I don't understand it whatsoever. We all seen the team sheet and we're like, oh, he's went to a 4. No, he's got a right back. He's got a right back playing centre half. We go, right, all right, no bother. Let's see how this goes. Doesn't work. Your left fullback asked to come off. Kieran Tierney asked to get subbed off. That's ridiculous. We've not even spoke about that. That's ridiculous for me. Who does he put on? A centre mid. Then he subs on a winger. He plays centre mid.
Daniel, Engels was taking a corner, they took him off and put James Forrest over at centre mid.
Arnie Engels has been playing as a left forward, mate.
He's playing Championship Manager, isn't he? That's all he's doing.
He's genuinely playing FIFA, mate. He's genuinely playing FIFA. And I just don't understand it. And for me, everything lies, like I said, at the 3 men sitting in the stand. One of them sleeping, one of them's got his head in his hands, and one of them looks like a wee boy that's been sat there and told off, who's not even on the board.
Yep.
It's ridiculous, mate. We're a laughing stock, and it's only getting worse. And this is just my opinion. It's only going to get worse. There might be people out there that think it's not that bad. I take your opinion, but I disagree, because we've been proven right time after time after time. And if it's not a positive result on Wednesday night, it's the end of Wilfred Nancy, because there's never been a Celtic manager that's lost their first 3 games. And he goes and does
bad,
it.
Mate. It's not good. It's not good. I think you're right, Daniel. I think ultimately, as much as I'm going to criticise the board for the next 5 minutes, Alan, I'd have a small bit of respect for the board if they did go, do you know, sugar, right, we've made a boss up here, we need to sack him. But then again, who do you bring in? But that's another topic. But ultimately, it's been a bit of a buzz up with us. Martin O'Neill obviously spoke to Nonce for 15 minutes. Nonce didn't really take any day with it, didn't want to lean on him, which I think, again, that's Looney Tunes. I think it's madness. I don't understand it. But for me, fundamentally, the full thing about the club is on the board. Listen, the players need to do better. But at the end of the day, the players don't buy the players. The players don't recruit their own players. As Daniel says, the guys that are in the boardroom, some of them are the 3 guys there, the 3 stooges, Nicholson, Lawwell, and obviously Desmond. Listen, I'm not going to sit and absolutely say that everything I've done for the football club has been terrible, because obviously stability, money, bank, all that stuff, right? But look, the money's not getting spent wisely. You're selling your major assets, you're not replacing them. Money's decline. Listen, this is just, again, like Daniel, this is just my opinion. It's money's decline. I'm finding it hard how it's gone like that. But maybe I just need to accept it now, Alan. I just need to accept that the board on the... Listen, Alan, the board hate us. The board don't like the fans. The AGM proved that, what Ross Desmond was saying. They're no wanting fan media, and they're wanting to ban the Green Brigade. People think it's the wee guys at Green Brigade away. This is thousands and thousands and thousands of fans that are wanting change. The club are getting run to the core, down to the bottom. The standards is going like this every single week, every transfer window. And I'm not saying everybody has to go, but there's got to be 2 or 3 at least. They've got to go. And fundamentally, Alan, as much as I'd respect them for saying that this is the wrong appointment, or like, look, we've buzzed up with recruitment, they then need to go for eventually saying, right, we're wrong. Because how can you then trust them again, Alan, to do the same job? For me, most of them are no fit for purpose. The club is getting one to the core. The money's there, stability. We're not going to be like Rangers. No, Celtic fans laugh at Rangers, Russell, Martin, Clement. Well, now it's time for us to take our medicine the way we're getting run now, the way that the recruitment's getting run. It's not on, and it's got to change, Alan. And fundamentally, it's going to keep getting rammed down by the fans. There's going to be season book holders getting their book up. Fans are going to go to the game on Sunday. I've heard there's spares for Wednesday already. When the Celtic fans get away tickets, Alan, it doesn't happen because you see the bigger picture, and it all fundamentally comes from the board.
I think primarily, I've been saying it for well over a year now, a few years. I think we've said it for the best part of a decade, that we know this board only fit for purpose. There has been success, there has been financial success as well. But I support a football club. I know what to see a bank balance on the pitch, and the way that we are, this club has been run as a football club. It's got similarities to maybe a Scottish League One club. It's
all the best, mate.
We're supposed to be, what was the statement again? It was world class at everything, wasn't it?
Aye.
World class basics.
Throw that out the window, honestly. So, sure, we can cope with being all right. I think we'll probably continue. You're looking at the lack of communication. When there is communication, the direct disregard towards the fans, the complete disrespect in some of the statements has been put out. You're shrugging shoulders. You're looking at the fact of how much they hung Brendan Rodgers and John Kennedy out to dry, and I've done it a few times with the likes of saying, "Oh no, Adam Ida will not be sold unless we bring in a replacement." Guess what? Sell without a replacement as well. So as I say, the only fit for purpose. There definitely needs a change. As a fan base, the collective are trying to force that change. We can have protest after protest. I think that'll just accelerate as well with the things that are happening just now. I think you'll see that up to a few levels, but it's the same things we've dealt with. It's just the managers that's new. We know this board are no fit for purpose. We know it's an Old Pals Act, and I think that's just been verified with somebody being appointed as the director of football who has managed at Exeter City, and just because his pal is Dermot Desmond at a golf tour, he gets the keys to the castle at Celtic Park, which just shows the complete unprofessionalism in this board. It shows how much they're in the dark ages. It shows how much charlatans they are. Not fit for purpose. They need removed immediately. I'll continue to support any type of protest because it's clear as day, crystal clear now to everyone that they are kind of running their club right into the ground. No financially, in football terms. I know we'll ever financially. I'm talking about football terms. They have to go. No acceptable. No fit for purpose.
See on that, Alan. No, you're saying financially. Financially, we're okay now.
Right.
If you don't qualify for the Champions League in the summer, just see you win the league, but you don't qualify for the Champions League, you then don't get any money for that. You then probably need to sell a potentially 2 or 1 if you've got any major assets in the summer. If you don't do it next year, you're then need to do it again. You're going to do it every season, Daniel. Then wages are getting cut. Aye, transfers get cut. Transfers get cut, Daniel. No, Alan's right. Transfers are then getting cut. It's a bigger picture here. This isn't just a new. January has got to be right. And then if you did that, right, you win the league, brilliant. then the summer has got. By the way, the summer is going to be an I'm hypothetically, I'm making this bigger than it is probably, right? I'm not going to say we're not going to sell 16 players, but it's going to be like 16 in and 16 out. That's the way it's going to be. It's going to be an unbelievable rebuild. So if they don't trust Nancy with that, after this, say if we win, draw, whatever it is on Wednesday, get it done now, and then get somebody then that you think is going to be good for January in the summer. Because ultimately, if we don't, by the way, Daniel, see the last, that's us what? When was the last big game we won? There you go. We've lost 2 cup finals now. We've no beat Rangers in 90 minutes. In 90 minutes, albeit we'll beat them in a semi and stuff like that. But in terms of big games that get you finals, etc., and league wins, etc., we're starting to become, I don't want to say it, but we're starting to become a bit of a losing team now, not a winning team. You go to Hampden, Dan, you think, yes, cup final, we'll win this. Semi-final game, it's fine, we'll win that. At the end of the season, don't worry, we'll turn up. You're starting to question it, Daniel.
The last 2 big games that Celtic have won, the man in the dugout wore a pair of glasses and an Umbro trackie. That's the last time we won 2 big games. Says all you need to know, really. We've said before that we need to be careful that we don't jump the gun and just choose anybody straight away, because Martin's got his back into a kind of a confident position. We said don't rush it. They rush it and they blow apart the three biggest games of probably the end of the year. And like you says, mate, the summer, we said it even before the season started that there's going to be a rebuild in summer. It needs an Ange-esque window. See the first season? We need that kind of a window where it's just bringing in player after player after player after player. We see guys leaving because they're coming to the end of their cycle or they just don't look interested whatsoever. £10 million was, well, 5 of it was on the park on Sunday, 5 of it was sitting on the bench, and not one of them looked interested whatsoever. Negrin wasn't even involved. I know he wasn't a lot of money, but he's still somebody that's come in. Simpson Pusey's nowhere to be seen. Obviously, we know Osman's injured. Yamada, nowhere to be seen. Anamura, nowhere to be seen. It's difficult to keep backing these kind of decisions and try and, I mean, I know that us three haven't been for way back in the summer been backing the decisions, but I'll put it to the people who kind of have opposing opinions of us. How long in recent seasons, how many times have the Celtic board made a decision in regards to a transfer window that has put us in a better position to qualify for Europe for the season going forward? Never. How many times have they messed up a Champions League qualification campaign?
7 out of 9.
It's ridiculous, mate. This season alone should be enough to hopefully change people's opinions, because they blamed Brendan Rodgers, or I'm sure somebody will have the quote for Dermot Desmond. I can't really remember it now. Somebody will have that quote there. They blamed Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers hasn't been at the club for a number of weeks now. It's no get any better. They blamed the Green Brigade. They've banned the Green Brigade indefinitely. They weren't there on Sunday. Didn't change anything. These people can't be allowed to keep pulling excuse after excuse after excuse, and us just go, all right, fair enough, and then get made to look like BAMs again. So every single one of them sitting in that director's box is an absolute joke. And for me, something needs to give, whether it's fans not going to games or just, I don't know. I said to Alan earlier in the week, it's becoming as if we're banging our head against the wall, because we've seen it coming a mile off, and it's as if people are just starting to catch up now. and it's like we've been saying this, we've seen it coming, so we can't let them continue any longer. We just can't let it happen because they're just going to do it again.
Aye, again, Daniel, there's everything you've said there's bang on, mate. Again, people might disagree with what we've said, and listen, it's fine. We've all got different opinions on Celtic and what we think, but the last word before we end the show for me, I think everything we've said here has been pretty bang on, and it's just our opinions, but I'm agreeing with the two of you. Some of the comments, majority of the comments are all saying the same. Again, thanks to your comments and views. Again, I hope we've gave you a wee chat to vent the frustrations of yesterday. I know we could probably go on a lot more, but obviously we've all got lives, so we all need to end it at some point. But we'll be back on during the week. We'll let you know on all the socials as usual. Hopefully on Wednesday we'll get a good result and we can hopefully push on to better times. But it's no great, lads. So we'll just need to hope and pray that we turned up on Wednesday and we get a result. But until then, Alan, Daniel, and the viewers, hope you enjoy the rest of your night and the rest of the week. If I don't see you then, we will do, of course. But hail, and try and be positive. Take care. Hail.
Sets up Larsson here. Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly. How about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you! In for Henrik Larsson. And Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! Here is Shunsuke Nakamura!